Shin, Yud, Lamed, Vav. That is how it most commonly appears on scriptures. The way it's written in this verse only appears once in the entire scriptures. So the word itself appears several times, but in this case, the way it is written only appears once. So it is very important to understand that, because that is the Father trying to teach us something, trying to show us something. So in this case, instead of appearing with a vav, it appears with a hey at the end. So the word is Shin, Yud, Lamed, Hey. Shin, Yud, Lamed, Hey. The value, as you guys may know already, the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, each letter of it has a numerical value. So in Hebrew, numbers as we use them are not used because we have the letters. So the letters are used as the numbers because each of them has a numerical value. So by adding the numerical value of each of the letters of a word, we can come to a result or a numerical value for the whole word. In this case, Shin, Yud, Lamed, Hey is as it appears in Genesis 49. That word has the numerical value 345. 345. But as it normally appears with a vav at the end, for instance, in Judges 21, we find the same word, but written as it normally is written with a vav at the end to mean to whom it belongs. That way of writing it, like I said, which appears several times in scriptures, has the numerical value 346. So the numerical value of the word Shiloh is 346. But in Genesis 49, Yahweh changed the last word, the last letter of the word, from a vav to a hey. So by changing that, he changed the numerical value of the word. So Shiloh, in this particular instance, became 345. And why is that so amazing, and why am I taking so much time to explain it? Is because in Hebrew, the word Moshe, or Moses, as most people know him, is written with the letter Mem, the letter Shin, and the letter Hey. Moshe. And now that I'm going to put this in the chat so that you guys can see it. That is Moshe. What I just wrote is Moshe. Shiloh with a vav at the end, that would be 346. Shiloh with a vav at the end, 346. However, Shiloh with a hey at the end, as it appears only in Genesis 49, that value is 345. So the Almighty is telling us something. As a matter of fact, the Almighty is telling us exactly who Shiloh is. Through writing the word Shiloh with a hey at the end, Yahweh is telling us who he is. Because the Mem has a value of 40, the Shin has a value of 300, and the Hey has a value of 5. So the word Moshe has a value of 345. This is amazing, because Yahweh is telling us through the word Shiloh. Basically, we could read it: the scepter shall not depart from Yehudah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Moshe, until the 345, until Moshe comes. So the authority has been kept in the tribe of Yehudah because of Yahushua the last 2,000 years, until the second coming appears. And then Yahushua will give him the scepter, will give him the authority to become king of the world, because he is Shiloh, to whom it belongs. The witness like Moshe. I hope that is clear, because it is an amazing revelation. And I repeat the word amazing a lot because it is. In Revelation, the book of Revelation 2, listen to this, please. In the book of Revelation 2, verse 26, it says, and he who overcomes, meaning the overcomer, meaning the second coming, the last, him who Israel represents, and obviously all of those, the chosen few who follow his doctrine. And he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him I will give power over the nations. I will give power, meaning authority. He will be a lawgiver. I will give power over the nations. Listen to this. He shall rule them with a rod of iron. He shall rule them with a rod of iron, meaning he shall rule them with a scepter. What scepter? The one that was at the feet of Yehudah, but once Shiloh, the overcomer, appeared, Yahushua gave him the scepter because it belongs to him. As we are seeing here, Yahushua is saying, and he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him, singular, the last, I will give power over the nations. He shall rule them with a scepter of iron. They shall be dashed to pieces like the potter's vessels. The enemies of Yahushua will fall before his hand, the second coming, who will have the rod of iron, the scepter. And he says, as I also have received from my Father. So that which Yahushua received from the Father, he will give to the last, who is the second manifestation of the Father. And I will give him the morning star. The morning star, the sun, actually. Hillel ben Shachar, as it is called in Revelation 14. There are people who say that, as they call him, that Jesus is Lucifer. And they don't know what they're saying, but in a way, they're saying more than you may think. Because in Revelation, we see that Messiah, the second coming, is called the morning star. He is given the morning star. Why is he given the morning star? Because he was in the hands of another, Lucifer, who is called morning star. So it's not that Messiah is son of Lucifer, or that Messiah is Lucifer, as some have interpreted from these verses. It's the fact that that which Yahweh gave to Lucifer will be taken from him and given to the last. That's why, just like the sun appears and goes up and then goes down, at least to our perspective, Lucifer, at the beginning of time, he wanted to go up and put his throne right next to the Father, but then he went down because of his rebellion. Now Yahweh will take that star, that luminary, and give it to the last to represent him, and because he is the son of justice, as we see in Revelation 4:2. I mean, in Malachi 4:2. So in Malachi 4:2, the son of justice comes, the second coming. That's why the sun, the morning star, will be given into the hands of the last. And that's why we see that in the new heavens and the new earth, there will not be a need of sun, because the Messiah will be the light of it. So the second coming will replace Lucifer as the mighty one of this world. This is very important. He will replace him. He is not him. He will replace him. That's why Jacob replaced Esau. That's why David replaced Shaul. That's why Paul or Paulus replaced Judas, etc., etc., one after the other, one after the other. We see in scripture. That's why Jacob was named the supplanter, because he represents he who will supplant the enemy to become Israel, he who will reign as Elohim on earth. That's why Seth was named that, which means substitute, because he would substitute Hevel, or Abel, who had been killed by Cain. So we see the rod of iron, which will be given to the second coming, the last, in Revelation 2:27. Then we see it in Revelation 12.